Hello and welcome, everyone. This is your GM in the Great Barrier. We are back with some Star Trek Adventures Aegis. You join us today for On the Horns Part 3, the penultimate adventure of our season. As a note for those of you coming to join us, if you ever want to watch this live, you can join us Saturdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. For those of you that are actually following in the archives live and might be thinking about it, I will note that this next Saturday, the 30th of November, 2024, we will be out for that week, so Thanksgiving holiday and all of that. So for those celebrating, we hope you have a good time, but don't bother coming here to celebrate. Just if you need this as part of your time, go to the archives. We have Aegis, we have Broken Sword, which is not entirely up to date yet. I'm working on that. But yes, we'll be happy to see you for the finale episode next month. But yeah, let's get into where we were now. Let's also make sure that all of our tokens are appearing because somebody remains cloaked, it seems. So, when last we left off, Aegis, some months into its expedition, has caught itself in a very difficult circumstance. At this moment in time, months into your journey, and without any major friendly port, you have been running away from Kzinti hunters at this point for quite a while now. They've deprived you of your last known port that would have been on the way, a Suliban outpost, and they've left you with a bit of battle scarring to boot. Right now, your best recourse is to take one of two courses. One that would allow you to essentially backtrack and cease your. It would pretty much mean ending the long-range expedition that your crew has been on. That most of the crew does not understand the complete nature of it, or why you are heading out in this direction. There is a second path that would involve some sort of subspace corridor, and that route also remains open. The decision seemed to be make some repairs and set a course towards the corridor that is rumored to be in a star system called the Messine system. Along the way, you have determined first that you are very likely surrounded by Kzinti, that they are some light years out, but that they are positioned to where, if you try to deviate from one of those two courses, they could effectively ambush you or catch up with you beforehand. You had also discovered a Suliban vessel that was on its way towards you, on an intercept. The Suliban seem to have been friendly. They appear to have been the lone survivors of the outpost that had been raided. And it seems like they, too, were coming from the Messine star system. So they have told you, unfortunately, that they could not make that journey because the Messine system, for lack of a better term, is being overtaken by a rogue black hole. It is at this point here that we will come up, as you have many difficult decisions before you and figuring out your moves, or next moves. I think that actually our first scene would involve a drop-in with the rest of the with some of the crew that are presently here. Let's set the scene just a little bit.
I had sent by the way, I accidentally pressed the button on my mic. Is everything still okay?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to step away for one more second.
Okay.
All right. But I had I had the captain, or not captain. I had Shira and Shira, Remora, a small Mako team, and
Romanov.
Romanov and Mjolnir all go to the docked Suliban ship to assess if we can help them, the state of the ship, strip the database to try to get as much detail as we can in the scene system, what they need versus, if we could help them or, take them in, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. I didn't remember if it was Malnyuk or not, or if you were just having her work from the
No,
bridge.
it was Mjolnir, because I wanted Mjolnir to take whatever she could, whatever she felt was relevant from the computer system.
Gotcha. All right. Well, then we can arrange that. We can put we'll go ahead and put some officers down in the airlock just for starters. Let's see. Yes, Remora, Shira, and Melnyuk, you've all come down from the turbolift and have made your way there. Romanov is, we'll say that she's still coming
No,
down.
I'm here if you need me.
Okay.
I've just stepped away for a moment.
Okay.
Yeah, that was just
Well, then
taking my meds.
with Brian back, then yeah, Romanov, you come around the corner. Still a little slower than the rest of them. You have a little more. Distance that you need to cover, and walking with the cane as you presently are, given your injuries, it's still just it's a bit of a time. I'd say honestly, right now, Romanov, like, you've been going a little harder than the light duties that have been prescribed to you, so you're probably feeling a bit winded. All that energy going to healing right now. But yeah, you a little out of breath and a little paler for it. You have made your way up to the bridge in time, or up to the airlock, that is. So, in a few moments, I'll open the door. If anyone has words to exchange, then you may do so. Otherwise, we'll...
There were also a few nameless Makos, because one Mako team... We had two Mako teams. One was going to stay at the airlock. The second one was going to go with them. Because one more... Yeah.
I recalled. I just haven't placed out.
No worries. I just want to double check that that was, relevant.
Yeah.
If that was relevant.
Yeah. So there will be a couple of Makos just for our reference here. But the airlock door opens, and stepping in through the door is another Suliban gentleman. A little tentative at first, a little bit flighty as he glances around, almost uncertain as to whether this is new, or this is an actual proper circumstance. Then he sniffs the air, breathes in deeply, and then just sighs with a bit of an elated expression. Oh, I cannot overstate how happy I am right now. I've never been so glad to... Well, I've never seen humans before, but I'm glad I met them, and the Andorians, and... Oh, well, hello there.
Hello.
Yeah. I can...
I'm Lieutenant Commander Shearer. This is Lieutenant Melnyuk, Lieutenant Commander Romanov, and Ensign Remora.
Oh. Between these and some soldier types, it looks like are you rolling out some sort of ceremonial guard for me?
They're definitely a guard. Would you please show us on board your ship?
Oh, yes, of course. Apologies for the smell. It's a little bit stuffy there. We've some of the water recycling systems have been a little bit strange, so we haven't we had to make a few adjustments to ensure proper potable drinking water, but everything is we've done best we could.
Yes, good, good. Well, she'll just look to Romanov and Melnyuk and Remora. We'll need to do this as quickly as possible.
Yes, and out of character, they wanted one of the requests was that I assess whether we could strip stuff and bring them on board, right?
No, the assessment was what doing a list
What it
of what they potentially need versus
Okay.
and how quickly we could provide it, because we're on a top we are the noose is slowly closing in, and we have to decide whether to take them on board or to just give them supplies, help them repair really quickly, and go.
Right.
So, you've stepped aboard. You've stepped through the airlock and transited into the theater of the mind, which is going to have to represent the the interior of the ship. Now, I believe that the only two that would actually have some familiarity with the style of ship would or the closest you would get to that would be Romanov and Remora. Remora, obviously, at some point, though you were mostly planet-bound, you may have seen a proper Suliban-built freighter at some point. It wasn't that big of a feature. In Romanov's case, you were held captive aboard what you understood to be a former Cabal vessel.
Right.
The design, there are similar elements of design language that both of you would recognize from your different experiences, probably closer to Remora's. The freighter is as well maintained as something very old can be, or it's relatively well kept up. There is a little bit of a coating of grit in some places, or maybe a few lights that are flitting on and off as you pass by. Systems that you suspect would be subject to an overhaul at some point when the ship is in a better state, or when it has a longer time in port to see some love. Obviously, this freighter has not had that type of fortune, and the more that you progress in, there's a bit more of a smell in the air. Remora.
Yeah, I brought along an engineering tricorder so I
Yep.
can, really assess this place.
Yep. As you are guided through the bowels of the ship, the scents start getting. It starts feeling a little more humid, and there's a little bit more of a lingering, sort of hard-edged smell in the air. Something that Remora definitely reminds you of the handful of unlucky times when, after a hard day's work in the fields, when you and family or friends might have hung out for a moment somewhere to cool off, but the smell of a good day's work had the perspiration and body odor built up from that was not pleasant. This is more of a this is magnified by the fact that you are in a more enclosed space, and that with environmental control being the way it is, it seems that it's actually a bit warmer in here. It's a little bit like a. I would imagine if there was a the equivalent of a tin shack or something kind of like that. It's the sort of place you generally would have tried to avoid.
I also imagine, this is just from the peanut gallery, but I also imagine, given the fact that it was used as evacuation, they probably didn't keep numbers in mind for the environmental systems.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably stressing the frick out.
Yeah, you were at once treated to the experience of the air feeling thick from a bit of humidity, but also, each breath is not quite as, it doesn't feel quite as fortifying as the last. Something that would tell you that, over time you might start to feel a little bit lightheaded from the fact that the O2 scrubbers are just not doing what they're supposed to. And the scene, finally, as you make your way along the main corridors, you see people kind of sat about in a few places, overfilling from what quarters they do have. They are of all ages, some very old, some small children running about, being chastised by their parents. It is practically a small village of people. As Captain Hone guides you along, and says, "Well, yes, it's not much, but we make do with it. We aren't really trying to make do. I wanted to get us back into port. The main scrubbers are having a few issues. We could use some replacements there if you can spare that. And well, sadly the ships are baited away. We could use a little bit more food as well. They weren't able to pick up quite as much. They just the couple of ships that we did pick up, they left with what they had."
Understandable, considering the size of the Kzinti incursion.
Yes, I've never heard of them being out this far before. Damned marauders.
They do seem to be rather prevalent around here. It's not the first encounter we've had with them.
Who knows why they're running about. Let's see. You were, was one of you going to look at our computer systems? That's me. Bridge is that way. Just tell Solon that I sent you. Right. And Melnyuk will walk towards the bow of the ship, up the main corridor.
As Melnick's walking away, I'm just going to say, also download some detailed schematics.
She'll give you a thumbs up as she walks away.
How does Mjolnir look? Because I imagine this is her first time in a refugee ship or anything of this stressfulness.
She's kind of... she's very much instinctively wishing that she had a cloth to help constrain any of this, but is lacking in that department. So just trying to very carefully step around and not interfere with things.
Because I just imagine like it's very stressful overall from what I've seen of, videos and whatnot of actual, evacuation ships and whatnot. It is super compact. It's pretty much like a sardine can. It is not at all uplifting.
Yeah, this
at least
it's not. It's definitely not her cup of tea.
Yeah.
How many people do you have on board?
Including myself, we have 47 in total. I think we were able to run a count beforehand. We'll say if you have if you have a medical station, as I understand it, we might have 48 soon. I don't know how all that's going just yet, but it's.
I'm sorry. I'm going to comment as one of the make officers. Why not? One of the make officers just kind of just looks to the lieutenant commander, just kind of like shit.
She nods. GM, I'm doing 2 assessments as I'm going along. I'm already starting to scan, and I'm looking for deeper problems within the ship as well that they might not have noticed. Like, they have limited capacity, and they have all these immediate problems on a ship, which is like dealing with scrubbers and immediate survival.
I will ask you...
Yeah.
I will ask you to give me... let's see.
Inside engineering?
I think that would be the most appropriate, and I'm going to call this a difficulty 1 roll here.
Okay. can I apply electroplasma power systems? Because I'm going to begin by looking at power distribution and then track it back to other systems and examine those. That's my logical course.
You may, and I will couch what you gain based on that.
Good deal. And we've got 4 momentum. Do you guys want me to spend one?
Yeah, go for
Sure,
it.
go for it.
Okay. So as we're walking, I'm using it and I'm scanning, I'm putting it on, and I have my best, engineering tricorder with me and whatever other tools would assist with that. And I will begin the scan and just expand it outwards, tracking through the electroplasma power system. Here it goes.
Okay, well, you still managed 2 successes, so that is at least a point of momentum that goes back to you, Romanov.
Do you have cautious?
Let me take a look. I believe so. I think they're a boulder. No, I have cautious.
Okay, you need to reroll
so
one of those.
I can re-roll 1. Here it goes. I'll just do a slash. Well, I'll just do a 1 roll. Okay, here, let me get back in.
Okay, aiming for a 14.
And that's 1 die. No focus, right?
Focus still counts.
Okay, great. I just barely woke up, as usual.
You're quite
One
alright.
day to sleep.
Oh well.
Well,
Okay. Yeah, but at least I made back what I spent. So
yeah.
And I hit the target number.
Yeah. Romanov, with the information, like using the power systems as a guide here, you try to get a sense of the general state of this freighter. It seems as though, like, from a starting basis, the freighter is functioning about as well in terms of its core systems as you would expect. The engines are maybe not in optimal condition. You would suspect that a ship of this class, based on any knowledge you might have, would normally be able to match or exceed the speed of the Aegis. This one probably can't right now. You would also guess that the mains are mostly operational, though again, not as efficiently as possible. And as more data comes in, it seems clear that this ship is suited for maybe it's suited for modestly extended voyages with a small crew, but that it's probably not particularly well kitted for something long haul, and not with the amount of people it presently has on board. The weapon systems seem to have very little power draw, and checking further diagnostic information seems to suggest that it is a lower level EM system, not even a proper particle weapon, but more something akin to the lasers of previous decades, or that less technologically advanced powers would use. Probably very suitable for mining purposes, but that's about it. The defensive systems, such that they exist, are weaker compared to the Aegis. They probably have a similar grade of... I would say that there's some sort of hybrid between it's almost as if they have a hull plating system that uses the deflectors to kind of reinforce it at different points. It's somehow not as good as the Aegis, or at least it's not built to be as powerful, not as tanky. The freighter...
But what is their max speed going to be if they get underway on their own?
Would you object to spending a momentum to obtain that information? Because I do think that's a little bit more to deduce, or...
Yeah, I agree. But I want to make sure the other players are good with that.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay,
so
spend it.
back to 4 points of momentum. You would
No, we were at 4.
You
I
gained
spent
a
1.
point in Yes, and you...
Okay.
Oh, actually, no, you're right. You gained back that
Yeah.
point, so it would be down to
Yeah,
3
I
points of momentum.
Yeah, it would be
so-
on 3. Yep.
The-
Remove one on.
The GM was in error. I apologize.
No, I totally understand. I just barely woke up, so.
Yep. I have less excuse. But good job catching it. Anyway, you would guess, Romanov, that the ship could probably top 3-7 for a brief stint of time. Maybe 45 minutes or something, give or take another 5. But otherwise, you wouldn't expect its cruising speed to go too far above the warp 3 mark.
And at warp 3, once, say, the Lyrans, right? No, we're dealing with the Kzinti.
Kzinti.
The
When
Lyrans,
Kzinti-
no. The Myrick, no. The Farazan, no. The Kzinti.
One of the
The cat people.
People. The cat people, yeah.
The Cations?
Patience. Yeah.
Nope.
So when the Kzinti close their net, given our knowledge, they're going to be able to zero in on this ship very fast the moment they pick her up, right?
The Kzinti could definitely outrun and overtake this ship quite easily. And the information that you're gleaning is, I'd say, somewhat known to the crew of the Aegis from their preliminary scan. This is a freighter. It's not going to stand up to them. They're not well equipped to deal with the Kzinti. It would be a frightfully one-sided affair. I don't think the Kzinti would waste a nuke on these people, especially not when there's food.
Yeah.
Did we tell the ship's captain that there were like 10 Kzinti vessels for?
No, they already knew. They already knew that they already knew there was an incursion going on in this sector. They don't know how the strength of it, but they know that the station that we tried to liberate was already being sacked. So.
Yeah. The only reason that you know about the Kzinti positions are partly because of Melnuk's little sensor trick, and also the fact that the Aegis has improved sensor suites. Hone is flying blind here.
They don't know the sheer scale. They know that something big is happening with running Kzinti.
Yep. As a matter of fact, he starts. Well, I must admit, I was kind of at a loss to what to do. I know there are a couple habitable planets out in the further out in the direction that we haven't hit before. I was thinking of trying to make a run there, but when I saw a ship that wasn't Kzinti and that looked like it could be friendly, I figured, hey, why not throw my lot in with you folks? And hell, I mean, look at you. You're all sorts of friendly, and clearly people in favor of merit. You have Suliban serving equally with your humans. You've got an Andorian in charge. You're not.
Yeah.
You are with the. You're under Earth Command, or something with the Imperial.
I'm part of the Starfleet of United Earth. Yes.
Well, it's strange, but I'll take it.
Yes, exactly my thinking too. She'll. This is the captain we are speaking to, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
Captain Hone.
Yeah. Good.
I'm in charge.
They'll take Hone to one side, just to make sure any refugees don't overhear. There are a lot of Kzinti vessels out here, and we're having to run a gauntlet of them. There are probably quite a few on our tail.
I knew there were some in the around Lystragon, but well, if you just, I mean, if you could be an escort to us, we would appreciate it. If you can't, if you could just point us in the right direction, we could go there. And I mean, we could. Well, if you could help us in some other ways.
I'm not sure there is a right direction right now. They had essentially a net out.
A net.
Essentially, their ships were positioned in a sort of spherical pattern.
You mean the you mean we're surrounded?
Keep your voice down.
His face is increasingly a mix of panic, surprise, and
Well, yeah, I see.
Like,
We can't escort you. Your ship's probably a bit too slow. Now you have the options here. Probably attempting to stay very quiet and hope they miss you, or possibly evacuate to our ship.
you mean leave my ship behind? He starts rubbing his face.
That is the possibility. As I said, you could try to go quiet, put your ship on the minimalist of power, and hope that they are so distracted by us, they'll miss you.
Permission to speak, Lieutenant Commander?
Go ahead.
I think you should do this. Only because, honestly, you really don't have any other options. If you saw the starbase, you'd know. The Kzinti will catch up to you. They will find you. Most likely. If you move to our ship, we could use your ship to fix ours for the next thing we need to go through. And if you do so, that's a huge, huge help towards our group. And from what I've seen, Starfleet will help you. You just need to ask.
I'm
If
sorry.
you do choose to decide to remain with your ship, we will happily provide you with some supplies, some medical supplies. We probably do have some food, and I'll check with Romanoff in a moment about whether we've got proper air scrubbers to give you. We'll be happy to do that. There should be enough room on our ship for all 47 and soon 48 of you.
I'm sorry. This is just a lot to be thrown at me all at once.
Yes, but unfortunately, time is of the essence. They're probably
if-
only a few hours behind us.
If you don't mind, GM, there would be a signal in the communicator as the captain would do. Yeah.
Shira here.
Sageport.
They have 47 people on board. One is pregnant, so might be the doctor might be needed at some point. They currently have problems with air filtration issues. It is so they might need air scrubbers. Romov's just checking that out now. We've got Melniak on the bridge, looking at schematics and other such. Their ship it's slow. Even if it was fully working, it couldn't keep up with us.
We already knew that. Has the captain decided yet?
We've laid out his options. He's taking his time to think it through.
Give your best assessment. How quickly can you transfer the crew from that ship to ours reasonably? Commander.
Depends how much we want to take. If get just the people on board, minutes. If we want to start taking, if we want to have supplies, it's gonna be longer. The more we take, the longer it's gonna be. Of course, if the captain helps us, I'm sure that would cut down on the time. Their defensive systems are minimal. Mostly EM weapons that are better for mining than they are for warding off any ships.
Understood. 10 more. Tell your away team 10 more minutes before returning, one way or another. If the captain decides to transfer his crew over as refugees to our ship, then you can make orders of any crew members you need to get it done.
Acknowledged.
I want to do as much as we can within the hour, Commander.
Okay, within an hour.
So let's go ahead and wrap up this conversation here. Give you a chance to make a pitch here, so that the Suliban captain can get to thinking. As you close off the communicator and that Shira and Remora, you go to engage with the captain. He's looking like he's having himself a bit of a time trying to think of exactly how he's going to do this. Let's take a quick check just to see how much he is keeping himself together. He's doing about as reasonable as your average civilian captain would under the circumstances.
Good.
So, okay, look, I'm sorry, trying to get priorities straight here.
Yes.
Murderous pack of marauding aliens.
Yep.
Murdered my people.
Yes.
Probably murder me.
Absolutely. Yes.
And this crew and you if they have the opportunity. And
undoubtedly.
Yeah. My solution is either to try and find a hiding spot, power down, or hope their sensors don't find us, or go with you and hope that your ship fares better.
We can outrun them, yes.
He looks down. This is I will admit, it is a good offer. You're asking me to give up quite a lot. Not just me, but my crew as well. This ship is my livelihood. My people and I, we haven't had the greatest fortune.
No point in having a livelihood if you don't have a life.
That's true, but what sort of life can we expect to live? This will be on board a military ship for some time, as I understand it, and what happens when we get back?
That could be a while. That is a question. I would suggest let's focus on the immediate problem.
Well, I don't disagree that you're not right to put that up, but I guess surviving is definitely important here. I need to know what I can tell everyone else about what does life look like for them, for just people trying to live. Why are you out here? Are you here for military purposes?
We're an exploration vessel. We've been sent out on a 2-year mission to explore this part of space because we wanted to see what's out here, what the people were like out here, maybe make alliances, or at least establish good relations with people. Understand, find new scientific stuff. I'm sure my science officer would throw something at me if she heard me calling it stuff. But somewhere. Milnick just has a bit of a headache somewhere.
She has a headache, but for very different reasons. Okay.
We're explorers essentially. I mean, Remora, why did you join Starfleet?
Yes. What? How did you? Why did you go to their? I imagine you went to their homeworld and joined their academy and rose up through the ranks. It's a praiseworthy story, but
On the contrary. My family, after our planet's demise, settled on a nearby planet called Risa. And it is there that for 2 generations, my family has lived, along with a few other Suliban refugees. After a family dispute, I joined a pirate crew. And basically, it was the closest thing I could get to getting information on more Suliban and where they would be. It's where I learned about the Cabal, and it's where I saved way less than I would have wanted to. And then, when literally I was down on my worst, the Aegis shows up out of the blue, and I heard about this ship before. They've helped our people, and they're well known to do it. And our people aren't the only ones, they've helped multiple people. So when I heard that they were there and our pirate crew was going to attack them, I decided to beat the crap out of the captain, take the ship, and take it to as maximum speed possible into another ship, and then left it in an escape pod. They picked me up, taught me a lot of things. Taught me how to be a Starfleet person, but they also taught me to be a better human being and to look past my old pirate tendencies. And for the biggest thing, and the one thing I think they can give you, the same thing they've given me, they can give you and your people a home. Why keep going out on a ship when you could have a house, have a job on a safe planet? No looking back, no worrying about who's going to take advantage of you for being in a low stature, because that's not what they do. They help people. And if you're not looking for a home, what are you looking for?
So he definitely said pirates. Oh. Hone is going back and forth here quite a bit. I'm going to say, if you guys would like to make a check to try and persuade him, then
Yes, let's do that. Who's supporting who here? I think.
You take lead.
I feel like Remora made it worse.
Yeah, so I'll say this much. Shira, you may make a control plus presence roll, and Remora may
control plus presence.
Command plus presence.
Command plus presence.
Yep. Remora, you may
I'd be
assist with daring plus command, as you relate your story honestly. In your case, however, you do. This is Remora alone rolls with a natural increase in complication range of up to 2.
All right, I'll.
Oh wait,
I'll spend a momentum for an extra dice.
Yep. Remora did score a success there, so that's
fantastic. I got a success too.
Okay, I should roll for Hone.
2 successes. Not great, to be honest.
Insight plus command here. Well, it's enough to gain you back a point of momentum, so that will bring you.
Nice.
Well, that will keep you even.
3. That could be a 3. Yeah.
Yep. Ahone kind of looks between the two of you, and Shira, if you want to try and deliver any final part of the pitch, then you can make that here.
Come with us, or we're just gonna kill you.
Come with us if you want to live.
The fact is, we are going exploring, but maybe we come across a Sulabon colony somewhere. We can drop you off, or perhaps you can make new lives for yourself in human space. There's in fact a small human Sulabon colony that's developing on the planet Terra Nova.
I did hear of that, and well, if you and your crew are willing to see to it that my people not simply survive the day, but that we can live a new life elsewhere, and that whether it's on your colony world or if we find a station that seems peaceful and well protected, if you'll give us that, then with so many lives on my hands here, I can't afford to say no to this. I'll start moving people over right away, and
Okay.
we have a few. We don't have much, but we do have a couple spare parts and supplies. And hell, I can even.
I'll get our quartermaster to come over. You can liaise with him.
We got no time for simple niceties of okay, everyone, time to go. So no, get everyone over here.
Okay. Shira will get on her communicator. Shira to Aegis.
Aegis,
They've agreed to come on board. We'll need to make arrangements to have 47 people transfer over. I need our quartermaster to come over and liaise with the ship's crew to start taking detail of what we can bring on board. I'll ask Romanoff in a moment exactly what she needs and what we might be able to take over.
I've already summoned Fournier to the airlock.
Yeah.
And
and yes,
so-
please advise Dr. Xantar about the possibility of one of them going into labor very soon.
She just nods as Xantar from the bridge. Doctor, I think you're going to be needed for the next while. Peter.
He's fine.
Peter.
He's gone.
Xantar's
He's
technically not on the bridge at the moment.
He's-
Unfortunately,
he's BRB'd. He's BRB'd. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll have Xantar come down there as well.
Yep.
Okay.
Sure.
good.
I will also bring security officers and engineers, whatever you need. We need to have them fully transferred in the remaining hour, Lieutenant Commander.
All right. I think best place to put him is in a cargo bay for the time being, and then we can sort out better living arrangements on the fly.
Agreed.
Okay. She'll turn back to the Sulabon captain. Right, let's get your people going. If your ship's crew could liaise with ours, we can also take supplies and stuff over.
And Hone will nod in agreement. I think that from here we'll work this out off camera, whilst we move over to the bridge. Unless you have anything critical you want to do.
I have one thing to add. I want to assess and assist the quartermaster and have engineers take whatever we can that might help us in that transit tunnel.
We'll set that up between scenes here.
Fair enough.
In the meantime, Captain, as you relay orders from the bridge to different departments to ready to basically get the Sulabon on board and get any useful equipment, the
supplies and equipment are being taken from that ship. Yep.
Yep.
As quickly as possible.
Yep. Crichton pulls up. Crichton has his console beep and presses the button. Sir, I'm receiving a signal from Lieutenant Melnyuk.
Yes, Lieutenant.
Captain, I'm sending over the information I have from this. It looks bad.
How bad?
Well, let me put it on the view screen here. It seems that the Messine star has been has managed to catch itself a rogue black hole, effectively exerting. Let's see here. This one is not supposed to be in the token layer, but it's there anyway. Lovely. Alright, so the Messine star appears to have caught itself a rogue black hole that is steadily consuming the star. Plasma streams are coming off of it and being pulled into it. The star itself seems to have been fixing the subspace portal in place, the one that would lead to that corridor. So we've got a pretty clear problem with this, setting up the overlay to work properly. Both celestial bodies, due to their proximity, are going to have some degree of impact on on any course charted through. It's no wonder that they didn't try to do this. Between the gravitational pull of the singularity and not just the gravity, but the stellar flares coming off of the Messine star, that freighter, this ship probably wouldn't have held together under the strains or severe damage that would have been set through that. I cannot say I'd recommend dealing with this.
How close and how stable is that subspace tunnel?
Well, honestly, I don't know, and I wouldn't know without getting a closer look. Their sensors aren't the best. They're definitely not the Aegis sensors, sir. They're working with a lot less here. But as near as I could tell from what they do have, the corridor seemed stable enough. It's just that, I mean, to get in this close, or like to actually hit that corridor, you would have to set a very narrow course as it is, basically a sort of keyhole trajectory that would take you right through that. But the gravity wells between the two masses are just, they're constantly going to be playing havoc with any ship that has to deal with that. So
They're just silence as she kind of eyes it. Understood. Take what you can and then come back onto the ship. Help out where you can also with the evacuation of the refugees.
Sure
When
thing.
you're done.
Melnyuk will cut off the line.
She'll just stare at it for a bit longer and then get up and look over to Crichton. Ensure that the transfer is as smooth as possible. Crichton.
Yes, sir.
Whatever they need.
We'll definitely get those people off, sir.
I'll be in my ready room.
Okay. So let's see. As we go back to the bridge for a parting shot, and the captain sees to it that the party is it sees to it that sorry, start again. As the captain leaves the bridge and sees to it that operations proceed as smoothly as possible, the crew begins a very quick evacuation. I'm going to say that let's see, going through this process, I'll spare you guys having to do too many rolls and just say a little bit of what each of you encounters through this, going on down the line.
I will say the captain's looking at the data that the lieutenant's given me just in the ready room, privately.
Yep. And I imagine you may want to call up a crew member before too.
Later.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
Once the transfer is complete, I'll call somebody.
Yep. So the first stage of this will take place with basically the medical the command and sort of medical elements, making sure people are coordinated. So Shira, this will entail evacuation of civilians, helping people that had some injuries or maybe that kind of a little short on nutrition, seeing to it that they are posted in either spare quarters or first that they go through a triage area. Some are probably steadily rotated through sickbay for Xantar to tend to. That process will take a bit of time, but the Suliban that are here were mostly traveling light. The crew of the freighter proper maybe have a little more to bring, but they are also some of the last that would be seen there, as they are busy helping Romanov. For your part, some spare parts that are compatible will be brought along. Very crucially, they also had a couple of extra pods worth of antimatter that they can begin extracting, though they haven't. That's going to be on the tail end of their process there. Focusing on getting...
Any reinforcing bulkheads that could be removed that we can place around the ship to deal with those gravimetric shears. That's what she's thinking about. Anything that gives us...
That was your priority last session, was trying to brace the ship as much as possible.
Yeah. And now I'm looking for any additional parts or stuff that could be removed by our engineering teams and theirs.
Stripping the bulkheads will probably be more time-consuming than what you would be able to do. They have some raw material, particularly some sets of different ores and probably some spare plating. A few places where you could tear up some machinery or things that could easily be unscrewed.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Stuff that can be done easily and fast with repair teams.
Yeah, you're coming to quick decisions on what can be salvaged and ripping up the floors where you need to, leaving aside anything that isn't going to be as useful. But the stripping down the ship is like quickly beginning a pace. You are told that essentially they can quickly get some of the redundancies out and some of the useful cargo, but that actually getting some of the, securing the antimatter pods, anything like that, is just going to take a bit of time while they shut down the reactor, which is just about the last thing they want to do.
That would be the final thing, right?
Yeah. Over the course of these, I'll say that... remind me, it's... how much time did you give Captain? Like an hour or two?
1 hour.
1 hour. Okay, so that's... We'll say, I'll ask first if any of you want a scene during that hour reflecting the work process. We could drop by sickbay if Xantar, if you want a scene. I figure Remora, you might be in the weeds with something here. Does anybody have any preferences as far as actual character interaction they would like?
I don't want a scene, but I want support Romanov in the sense that Romanov focuses on the engineering aspect of salvaging what we need, and Juan is just running around the ship, commandeering everyone he can get his hand on to get every single resource we can get from the ship that is not covered by Remora. So just like pure highway robbery, basically.
Yeah, I don't imagine the salvage is anywhere Federation need. We are quickly just grabbing as much as we can in 1 hour.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like all provisions, all energy storages you can get from anywhere, like everything. Someone said this might be useful as like backup, rip it out. It's just like going through the entire ship, treating this as absolute salvage. While Romanov does like the high level stuff.
Stuff like cargo could just be tagged and then you could just transport it over.
I'll clear Marcus to oversee some engineering teams, and I'll request a draw of anybody with engineering experience that can.
Leighton would definitely help out taking as much as he's very good at that, and so he's going to start just taking things.
I imagine Romanov's not very happy because she has to stay somewhere in a command center to organize because she's not mobile, really.
Yeah,
but everyone else is just like sent around.
Yeah. The only thing I'm going to oversee is the antimatter removal at the very end. She's very aware of her condition and will be glad to sit down and just coordinate from the bridge, and she is very happy to have Mr. Horn assisting. So,
I
don't imagine moving 47 people is that terribly hard. It's mostly just like after that we have like 45 minutes left, and it's just rushing. A lot of rushing.
And utilize any of their engineers, Mr. Horn, as well to assist.
This would be actually one of my first actions. Is like going quickly, but like very, very quickly through like the refugees. Like anyone who is fit to at least carry something gets recruited, and everyone who has like any skills we can use in salvaging will also be recruited.
Excellent.
So I do actually think there would be one brief little scene here as I'd say maybe about 20 minutes into this process, the engineers have been corralled, and Romanov is initially directing from the airlock as a stream of the red-striped ops personnel are going back and forth, and because anyone with engineering experience has gotten involved, Racco is also here pulling things around, and
he's probably quite used to this process. It's a lot more
good at it.
No.
This is his turf.
Yep, Bernhard, you're getting regaled with the story of this one great time that I had that we came across an old Iridian treasure shuttle. Oh boy, you wouldn't believe it. Like, of course, Kesh knew most about where to pull the data components, but I managed to get out some...
Racco, less chatting, more hauling.
Racco, take this. He just like tosses a bunch. Leighton just tosses a bunch of like heavy components over at Racco, practically throwing it at him. Take.
All right. First off, you, as he continues to keep pace with Bernhard in Marx's general direction, you are not my boss. I don't even know who you are properly here. How you fit in all this. You're just a guy in a suit.
Aleska goes, I'm your boss. Listen to what he says. Thank you. That's an order.
I'm technically not Starfleet. I'm just helping you out of the goodness of my heart, which is always over
now.
Alonso's passing through, carrying like the heaviest, biggest thing, and then he says, "If you don't want to be part of the crew, I'm sure there's an extra airlock for you. Move."
Alonso's just carrying one of the ensigns who's carrying something heavy.
Yeah,
he's carrying he's carrying the one bulkhead he stripped out himself. It's like that.
Did he even strip that bulkhead? No, he just walked up and ripped it out of the wall.
Yeah, it's like Wrath of Khan when Khan is pulling that hunk of ship off of his second. Alonso's just got that prop.
Yeah,
not even for the ship too.
I look at him and go, Alonso, good work.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Whatever stew that goes into.
I'm looking forward to it as well.
The big boss said to help out, you help out. Unless you want to go by the old rules. He kind of leans forward, looming over Racco.
Racco just gives him a smile. I do hope that what you pulled wasn't load-bearing.
Ominous creaking in the background.
Yep.
He just,
That's
he
all right.
just,
I pulled that out before. Nothing wrong with it.
he just like looms for a second longer and then just keeps on walking.
Yep. Yeah.
Romanoff is Zach. Romanoff is scanning all the parts as they're coming through, so they can be easily, gone through, and
Yep.
telling people where to put them.
Oh,
Yep.
I'm sure Frenier's having a freaking field day right now.
Yep.
Yep.
It's a whole process.
Bernard does lean into. Sorry, Bernard just quickly leans into Romanoff and just like in a loud whisper goes, "Don't worry, sir. I'm keeping an eye on him so he doesn't put anything in his pockets."
Thank you.
And gives a very like non-subtle wink.
Racco flashing a smile with half a dozen, whatever this era's computer chips are, just in the midst of his teeth.
I heard of gold teeth, but this is ridiculous.
He
does.
flashed a smile to Shiro with that.
You don't even see Leighton. You just see Leighton's arms as he's just like gutting the inside of the ship. He's just like digging a hole in the ship, throwing things out.
Yeah. It's suffice to say that the lower decks crew is earning their paycheck today, and Romanov, you are steering them as best as they can as they bring a steady stream of salvage through through the airlock. Even this, though, is a bit of an exhausting process, as like you are constantly paying attention, but you're finding you're having to lean a bit more on the on your crutch and against the wall.
I'm
at a certain
actually
point.
not even. I'm going to find a place to sit, because, even if
There's-
it's a box,
There,
from their ship.
I don't imagine, given how cramped the hallways are, that there's
No.
like much to do for that. Yeah. Horn,
Then
Shiro,
lean against a wall and use the.
Have you seen chairs in any Star Trek corridor?
No, not really. That's what I'm going to try and use a
That's what
box.
the cane is for.
Yeah.
But if not, I'm just going to lean against the wall and use the cane.
yeah.
So
For your parts, Horn, Shira, Romanov is, I mean, she's been in a rough way for a while, though light duty agreed with her. This is doing less so. She's, it's a bit more visible that the toll that the extended day is taking on her.
Romanov,
Yeah.
when we're done here, just
back
go
to
off
medical.
duty.
Yeah.
No need to go back to medical. I think Xantar's got his hands full with things.
Sure.
Just go off duty and get some relaxation done.
From the distance,
Why do you do that?
from the distance you hear, maybe she needs another massage.
And then you just
a
hear
lot. So
Some-
yeah, I know. No, you hear a loud like clap as a lot. So just smacks and oh, sorry, didn't see you there.
The thing is, he has to go like the complete opposite direction, and
It's not even a thwack, it's just a resonating gong.
Yeah.
Hi. Where's Captain Hone? Juan?
Oh, I imagine him being completely destroyed somewhere in the ruins. What we're doing to his ship.
I carved my initials into that bulkhead, and the
I
Orion
got
man
that.
just took it.
Well,
Oh, I
look,
got that
look,
piece here, sir. Here.
It's,
Just like
it's
Bernard
good
just
news.
hands
We've still got it. We will need you to scrub your entire navigational logs.
They've already pulled the computers. There isn't a working one.
Excellent. Excellent. Good news.
He is completely distraught at your
I-
the flippant, happy attitude.
Good. It just makes it harder for them to find out any other Suliban outposts.
Okay, he says. I'll be fine.
Good. Good.
Oh, also, sir, I found a little pouch of what looks to be latinum. Is this yours?
Yes, that's. He just snatches up.
We found it tucked behind one of your sofas. Thought it might be important.
Oh, the
It wasn't at all. He now claims it. He's like, yes, it's
Yes.
mine.
captain claiming right of salvage.
Of course.
All right.
You get a communication. All right, unless there's some other scene.
No, there can be,
Okay. Yeah.
or there we go.
There we go.
I put the communicator in the soundboard for any time anyone wants to seriously interject with communications.
Nice. Yeah, you get a communicator chirp.
Shira.
Cheer.
Shira will. Shira here.
How goes the process?
It's going well. We're taking a lot of salvage out of it.
Can it be handled without you for a moment?
I think so. Most of the engineering staff won't start fighting with each other just yet.
I need you up in the ready room.
All right, Romanov, take over here.
Got it.
Leaving your exhausted best friend in charge of overseeing
Yes.
the teams. Yep.
Actually, figures that there's probably only 15 minutes or so more to do, so Romanov can probably handle that.
Yep.
You'll be fine.
You leave
What's
the
on there?
You leave the site, taking the turbolift up through the bridge, and arrive in the captain's ready room.
Oh, I made it up here really quickly. Good.
She's looking out the window and looks back. In the on the monitor for her computer, there is the detailed reports from Melnik that's left open. I need a question answered, Lieutenant Commander.
What's the question?
Given the state of the remainder of the transport that we're salvaging from, how long do you best guess would somebody survive in such a shell? Just one.
Well, we've essentially stripped the computers. If it's low, and all the antimatter's gone out, so that's the power gone. So it's going to get pretty cold once we've undocked. There'll be enough oxygen to last for a while.
Slight revision just to countermand. The antimatter is. I'll rewind a bit. Antimatter hasn't been taken out yet, and I'll say that there's some basic control systems still available.
Yeah.
But basic life support's still online. So it should be one person should be able to survive there as long as they have provisions. But well, they'd survive right up until the Kzinti eat them.
Probably use a bigger ship anyways. She thinks about it for a moment.
What were you thinking?
You were right, Eula. I should be thinking about the crew. And the obstacles ahead of us make the odds not so pleasant, to be truthful.
Well, exploration's a dangerous game.
It is. She gives a small smile and a nod. And I wouldn't be able to do this without any of you. Especially you. You have done wonders and proven more than one occasion that, if anything, if more crews are like you at this current time period, I have nothing to worry about regarding the future.
Thank you.
But I'm offering you a way out. Commander.
A way out of.
You did make a good point that the value of the lives of the crew matter quite a lot. And with the current net, she switches over, taps on her computer to switch over to the display of the net, the Kzinti net. Currently hasn't shifted all that much, which means the path back home is still an option.
The path back home is likely to have even more Kzinti on it. I think the path ahead is.
They only want
safer.
me, Commander.
I think they want a lot of food.
I think they want the chance of getting the Grand Huntress, who has been a thorn at their side for so often now, that they want a prize and the most joyous of meals from that.
They'd still chase us. There's more than enough ships to do so.
More than likely. But I know with your crew and your command that you can get there. You can get home, get them all safe.
I suspect the ship will need its captain before then.
I'm needed through that path. She points to the display again of what Melnick shows of the subspace tunnel. I can use the Suliban transport and hijack the Kzinti vessel from there once they detect the ship. And from the Kzinti vessel, I can get through that tunnel, probably. But it doesn't risk you or the crew.
I think that is a tactically unsound plan. You're not going to be able to take an entire Kzinti ship by yourself.
I made a good go at it.
I'm sure you would. And by the end, you'll be dead. There'll be a fair number of dead Kzinti, but you'll be dead. And I speak as someone who's had their nose broken by you.
I can't promise everyone's coming back, Commander. Or anyone's coming back with this choice.
I wouldn't expect I wouldn't expect anyone to make that decision. That's that promise.
Are you ready to take it? We have to go through Scylla and Charybdis, as it were. She points to the sun and the black hole, respectively.
It's going to take some fine piloting. But we've got a couple of good pilots. And a good science officer. So I'm sure we'll be able to do
And a
it.
good XO. She says a small smile.
Well, thankfully, I don't think XOing is going to be what we're going to need to get through that, at least.
I think we'll need everything we can. Okay.
Just... Do we
Yes.
need all our missiles?
You know,
because I'm thinking that wonderful little Suliban ship out there will cause at least one Kzinti ship to investigate.
I was thinking very similarly. We still have 10 minutes.
We could see if we rig something in that time.
Get Lotso to help. I'm sure he can make things go a little faster.
You can properly lift it. Yes, I'll get some armory officers down.
Tell him the boss requires his heavy lifting.
Will do. Okay. Shira will leave and ask for a team of
Eula.
armory officers. And
No, as you're about to leave, she says, Eula,
Yep. Yes.
there's no going back.
There will be. We'll get back to Earth.
She just gives a small smile and nod. As you were, Commander.
She'll nod and leave, wanting to set up a delightful surprise for any visiting Kzinti on the Suliban vessel.
Good luck getting Alonso to give up his emotional support, Bulkhead.
So, with this, let's go on a bit ahead in the timeline. With the captain convinced by her XO to remain on board ship, the Aegis prepares a little bit of an ambush that will that they'll lay with the freighter. I would think that's fair to say that once you finish that process and strip the last of the useful components, including a bit of desperately needed antimatter, Aegis is able to get back underway.
We leave just a little bit. We just leave one canister antimatter just to help out with the surprise.
Gotcha. Something that lets the ship function, or that is rigged to a torpedo.
Just gives it a nice low power level signature, kind of.
And we've done it before. Let's take a probe and just create a mass signature of a lot of life forms on board.
Yep. So, I will freely grant you that advantage for Aegis to use as it sets off and leaves behind the breadcrumb, as it were. So the question would be, or my next question to you guys would be, since you are back on course for the Messine system, would you need to have any discussion beforehand? Would you guys be instead, would you just be, would anyone, sorry about that, guys. Does anyone need scenes, basically, or feel like their character needs to work something out before we arrive at the challenge, as it were?
Just making sure before I go to rest that all that reinforcing is finished, and I really don't have time to help the armory team, even though I'm good with weapons engineering. I'll give them some suggestion.
That's done, and we're underway.
Yeah. My big question is, like, how much time do we have from the transport to the Messine system?
Well, so in game it would be like a third. It's a little less than I'd say a little less than a day and a half. But we can expedite. We can skip ahead.
Yeah, Romanov could easily get sleep. But I need you, like, once you wake up, to be working on friggin' bulking this ship. I would definitely guide.
Yeah.
I would definitely, with the help of Shira, start shifting various departments and crew into the inner hull, leaving the outer hull as evacuated as possible, because we're about to experience a lot of turbulence, and I'd rather not lose people.
No one falling out of windows. Got it.
Yeah, or being sheared out from them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the crew.
Romanov did have a question for Shira just after the last officer meeting thing.
Yep.
Whether she wants to follow through on that, because Shira did say, "Come to me later, off duty."
Yeah. Would you want a moment for that, or would you prefer to allow a bit of rest, allow for a bit more rest for Romanov, since the situation's become increasingly tense? I need to go back and
Up
check.
to you
make
guys.
sure.
Brian.
Yeah,
Sorry.
sure. Cheers, happy, but Brian muted.
Yeah, you're
Brian?
muted, Brian.
Yeah, sorry, it was on mute so that you guys didn't hear. There's some construction going on nearby.
No worries. But do you want to do the scene, or do you want to just move on for more rest? What?
Yeah, this does not preclude it later. It's more of a, it's more like the question of whether Shira feels like it'll truly be a good time, or if Romanov is like since she's in rougher shape.
I would think postpone that to a later time. She knows that she's got to get rest.
Yeah, that's fair.
And she's just as running under the assumption that people are screening for Kabbalists, so...
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, that's also concerned now. God damn it! I got enough problems about freaking
We'll
telepaths.
Yeah, good times, good times.
Heyo.
We've just heightened security measures. Have Makos actually posted.
Yeah.
Visibly, because, I mean, the Sulabon don't know that. We don't regularly have Makos posted. So, there you go. All be fine. They're there for your protection.
Mm-hmm.
Done nothing wrong, you've got nothing to fear.
Mm.
And all those wonderful comforting phrases people churn out.
I am
because they're
old enough.
arrested for something they haven't been.
I don't know about most of my group, but I am old enough to remember back in the 2001 days. Yeah. There for your protection. Yep. Yeah, I got no scene. The thing with Shira was all I had.
Yep. Okay. Well then, let's see. Well, I think that one thing to the thing I sent out just a moment ago, that might be information that gets relayed more properly once you guys get to the machine system. So let's, I guess then, let's skip ahead a little while where the crew is left to largely prepare prepare as best as they can for the incoming situation. As far as you know, the ship will have to traverse two very difficult stellar bodies, and in order to manage their proper trajectory, and in spite of lingering stresses or questions that some of you are having to ponder, everyone is so tired, but seeing the need to focus on everything else, that personal concerns have had to be set aside for a time. That with those hours, with the nearly 2 days of non-stop work, Aegis will make its way to the outskirts of the machine system. And I think that we will get we'll get to the bridge here, and we'll default putting senior officers on shift. I'll actually say that just before that happens, as I think that it would be a good time to visit, to do one thing for Remora here. If you would be up for a slight scene, Cheesy.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, Remora, as you... we'll say that this is getting to be on a... you've specifically requested a beta shift for the day because it has... you know that it's going to be... or that you're arriving in the system around this time, and you want it to be as fresh as possible for the prospective encounter. Let's see. what would you have done to try and center yourself? Or how would Remora be preparing as he goes into this day? What is his kind of outward projection of his state of mind before he would go on duty?
Well, I'm assuming he took a nap, so he wakes up a bit troubled, but he goes through all the Ryzen meditation techniques that he has learned, everything that he has learned to relax and just basically let all that stress that's on his shoulders wash away so that way he can be fully prepared for the mission and not have to worry about anything except for that mission.
Oh, you've tried to zero in yourself, try to reset as best as you can, that you might be better prepared for this, and making your slightly early walk towards the turbolift so that you can be ready ahead of time. You find a figure standing just down the hall from your quarters, standing intently, as he has obviously been waiting for some time. Hello, Remora.
Yes. What brings you down this corridor?
He takes a couple steps forward. I wanted to... I'm sorry, I hadn't talked with everything that's been going on here, but I wanted to check in on you. How are you doing right now?
I don't mean to sound rude, and know that you are a trusted friend, and at a certain point I will talk to you about this. But right now, I can't think about anything like that. I hope you understand.
No. And I debated about the idea of even coming down here, even being a bother during that time, but it was one of the two things I could think to do as a friend. You still think of me a friend, don't you?
Until the day I die. You coming up here shows that you care and that you're considerate and you do care about our friendship. Anybody who wasn't my friend would just stay in their quarters and wish me the best of luck off on a pad. You came to me up front, knowing that it would cause an awkward situation, but you didn't care.
I know I haven't made the most... I know I haven't made things as easy these past months since we have been on the ship. I backed the play, but I haven't followed through with anything since we've been on this ship. I only wanted to offer... No, go ahead, please.
You really don't have any obligation. My goal was to get you safe and to get you a fresh start. You are free to do whatever you want. That's one of the things about Starfleet. You're free. No one's going to be upset with you, whatever you do. Unless you do something bad. Like, I think we all know what bad is.
Yes, though Racco seems to test the line on that a bit more. I know that... I know my position here. I understand, well... There may be some disagreements on exactly how free we are as we careen towards quite a sticky situation. I will say, as I hear that we are going to brave some sort of difficult course. How much do you trust their navigators? The people that would be running second seat to you?
Sorry, I think my mic messed up. I heard trust.
How much do you trust the navigators, those flying second seat to you?
I can honestly say everybody that has stepped foot on that bridge, I trust with my life.
his expression goes from something slightly grim to a little more neutral as he says, "Would you trust having them more by your side than me?"
I know who my friends are. My friends would do the same thing I would in certain situations. I trust you as equally as I trust them.
I'd like to say you've seen a little more of my skills to know better, but I'll try not to take the slight. He says, allowing almost a bit of a grin to form at the corners of his mouth. I know you have your difficulties right now, and I can't imagine the depth of them. And I understand that you're trying to get away from that. If it comes to it, if you should need more help, you can put in a word with your captain, and I could join you. If you think that my skills would serve you a little better than whoever they've got up there, whatever Starfleet, whatever their best and brightest does.
I'll put in a word, but I will say, I think the captain would take it much more respectful if you did it yourself. Really, I do.
I will consider, but I am not there for the captain. I have never been here for this captain. I am here to help you.
I should warn you, the longer you stay, the more you'll start doing it for the captain.
He just grumbles a little bit. Well, touch base soon, I imagine. No,
That I will.
don't let me make you late.
That would be bad. Runs off.
Yep. And Remora, you run up to the bridge where you arrive in time to come into the scene. I am putting all the senior staff on the bridge for now as you arrive in the system.
Given the importance of the current scene that's about to arrive here, can we take a brief 5-minute break? I have to move a giant turkey. For
Okay.
family.
Yeah, sure thing. How about, guys, we take a quick bio break here and allow that to happen. And we are back. Thanks, everybody, for sitting tight for just a quick intermission. Yes, we're coming back on the screen. All the senior officers are on stage right now, so that's you can tell this is a serious moment as Aegis reaches the edge of the Messine system. You've been traversing a bit of time through Impulse as you near the inner system, and you see on the view screen ahead of you the signs of two objects particularly silhouetted. One would be the bright orange star at the system's center, but it has noticeable streams of gas, of plasma coming off of it, torn in by the void, surrounded, wreathed by an accretion disk. A hungry black hole seeking to devour all matter in its path. The two are caught in a dance, one that will be deadly for the star in the long run as it steadily consumes the burning, the great burning orb. On your final approach here, Melnyuk will give the system a scan here, just to give you guys some extra information. So I will say this is a difficulty. This is going to be a reason and science roll on her part, assisted by the ship's sensors and science. And this is a difficulty. I think that this would actually go up to a difficulty 4 task because of the stellar flare activity. but the the improved sensor suites will reduce that by 1 to where she rolls a. She would roll a. It would be a difficulty 3 task that she needs to overcome.
Okay.
So,
It'll be fine.
yeah, I'll say here that her too interesting to pass up value applies because this is quite a phenomena to see up close, and I will grant her the auto crit. Could one of you roll
yay.
the ship for me?
I'll take the ship. Don't mind.
All right, that will be sensors plus science.
Oh, Melnyuk.
Yep.
Wow, Melnyuk nailed
So,
it.
Yeah,
While-
bloody hell, Melnick.
While the ship does not wind up being too much of a help, who needs it? Melnyuk just breaks the task completely with 4 successes on the die and 2
Science
from
magic.
Yep. Roll out your Jesse Pinkman gif, science bitch. But yes, that is a total of 6 successes, which will refill your momentum pool, granting you 3 points there. Before we top that off, I guess, I'll read off some results, and you guys can decide whether you want to bank it or do anything else. But Shira is Melnyuk is going to put the view screen up with the 2 objects, placing a relative start position on the screen. Yeah, it's about as we thought. With the situation, we are caught between. The subspace portal appears to be anchored, though stable at present. It is between the Messine system star and a singularity that appears they're gravitationally locked to each other. The corridor might still be reachable between the two, but it's going to be a very narrow course. As best as I can guess, this will be an extended task. It's going to require either control or daring plus con, with an assist from the ship's engines plus con. I would put this at a magnitude 3 task, which means the initial difficulty is going to be 3. Resistance will start out as 1, but and the work track will be 18 points of work or stress we have to put onto it. Because of the gravitational limits here, it's worth noting that once we enter this course, the gravity of the 2 objects is going to make it extremely difficult to reverse, such that we would be simply we can't just turn around on this one. We have to commit. We're also going to have limited time to actually make it to the corridor on this. I'd say it would take 8 intervals, or there will be a total of 8 intervals of time that we have to do our tasks, with 2 intervals for each task. We might be able to use momentum to buy that up, so that could be a use of what we have. Further complicating factor, Captain, is that it looks as though we're going to have to essentially pick a penalty, exertion of the influence between either the black hole or the Messine star, and it's the plasma streams that are flowing off of it. We could suffer we'd have to either deal with the class 2 flares coming off of the star, which will make sensor and transporter usage difficult. That's also quite a bit more radiation and damage to the hull plating. There's also, that's a class 3 singularity, so that would add 3 difficulty to any engine, sensor, or structure task. And with the gravity there, resistance could keep increasing. It's pretty bad, and jeez, look at these radiation readouts. Doctor, gesturing over Xantar. Are you seeing what I'm seeing here?
I'm afraid so.
Care to elaborate or add to the stack, Doctor?
Well, sir, with the amount of radiation that is being pushed out into our ship, and considering the damage that we have already taken, even with all of our radiation meds, the radiation levels are going to be climbing into the outer decks, including bridge engineering. So anyone who is doing damage control may need EVA suits. Scrapmat will need EVA suits. And we don't have a lot.
Thank you. She just eyes now dubbed Scylla and Charybdis. She just mutters quietly. So the multi-head monster or the inescapable mouth. She grimaces.
Between the bedrock and a glacier.
Do we have additional EVA suits from our salvage?
Nothing with quite the... I don't think that they would have brought anything along like that.
Okay, that's what I figured, but I thought I'd ask.
What do you guys feel? Like, and this is more of our group thing. What do you guys feel?
I'd rather have the increased difficulty to sensors and stuff from
the engines and whatnot. All right.
I can say that
I think use of the engines is going to be important in this task. So
yeah,
allow the engines to do their business.
Now you guys can you can shift a little bit. So for each attempt at the extended task, you could you could allow yourself to receive different penalties each time.
So okay.
You could start by taking the. You could start by dealing with Scylla, basically.
Yeah, and then do Charybdis.
Yep.
We can do radiation, and then the black hole.
Do it in order. Why not?
All right. So it is. Remora, you have, say, 1 in a million shot. Make it count.
Sure, it's better. Sure, the odds are better than 1 in a million.
Well, you don't want to know the odds, Commander.
Never tell him the odds.
She just smiles, shakes her head, and looks down at Remora. I have faith in you. I have faith in my crew, and faith in this ship.
You got faith at the heart?
Throw credit.
All right, so you're being taken out of the airlock.
Like that, Shiro was written out of this.
No.
Yay! No. Right on. Leave it. Leave it. It's
All right. So it is.
All right. So that'll be what you deal with initially, but the question stands. Limits on there are limits on who you can have where, given the strong radiation vibes. So the question is, with the EV suits, I will grant the players the choice of one character that they can put, and I can have them either claim that they will be on the bridge or engineering.
Where do you want me? I can use the bridge engineering to give commands and do limited stuff.
Well, okay, we need Remora on the bridge because Remora is the pilot, and we need the pilot.
And we need captain on the bridge. You need someone technically
captain.
in overall command. You probably want Melnyuk at sensors. So therefore needs to be on the bridge. We don't do we what job does Crichton do? Other than
Communications, but
comms. He does comms, which we don't need for this.
so he
But
does internal comms. He does,
internal comms, so that
Hey,
might
yeah,
be
he's ops. He's ops.
I could multitask. You know, the GM was actually thinking I might switch over to Helm at some point.
No,
Good
no.
Lord. Yes, that's interesting. So you fancy switching over to Helm for the black hole star?
Well, no. I was just saying if you wanted me to be navigator, that's all, sir, and I could do comms from up here too.
Okay.
Speaking of Helm, do you want to get Justice up here just in case I
No,
might get
we can't.
incapacitated?
We don't have like it sounds like we only have one person per slot right now.
Okay.
GM, given the
Pretty
amount
much.
of
There's
yeah.
basically
We don't have back.
Yeah, you have limited environmental suits, so like some of that's going to go to a core engineering team. Some of that's going to go to people that will basically be around the ship to conduct repairs, and it's going to basically
We spent a season trashing EVA suits where we're down to a limited amount.
Do we, strictly speaking, need someone at tactical for this?
Shira could be
I
in
hope
damage
not.
control if you'd like.
Yeah, let's put you damage control, Shira.
Yeah.
Plus, I need you up here just in case I get incapacitated. So, damage control would be nice. Romanov can be in engineering.
Yep.
And then pray.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Does science think that there could be debris in this corridor?
It should be.
I would, if there's any debris, then I would suspect that's coming from the that would come from the singularity itself, or that's something in the accretion disk. Things that haven't been swallowed and that are getting churned around. If we're that close to the singularity, then we have other problems.
Got it. Okay.
Oh dear.
All right. Everyone ready?
Ready. I'll head down to engineering.
All right. Just to check. Hold on. Let me jump into Discord here. Let's see. Felix, I do not know if you've been saying anything. I have not heard anything on your end. So just make sure that you're not muted.
Felix.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Mark is just quietly getting off.
Yeah, probably not needed on the bridge, so I'll try to
You can help.
make
You can
myself
help.
useful everywhere else.
Yeah,
Yes.
you can help.
Keep everyone calm below decks.
Yeah, keep all the refugees calm while we're
Yeah.
navigating two monsters.
Then Xantar is administering what anti-radiation medication he can.
Oh my God. Horn's gonna have to deliver the baby.
Yeah.
Is that the episode where Xanta gets incapacitated and Horn must live with the baby?
Yeah. You're in the turbo lift.
The worst place.
I love this idea. If only there were more time to properly execute.
Just a smash cut at the end to the turbo lift. Well, that was an adventure of its own.
That's released as like a little mini episode on YouTube.
You could make a lost episode.
Yeah, the tense,
anyway.
tense lost episode. Maybe I intercut it with this if I feel really good on the editing skills.
Yeah. All right. All right, Remora. Make the shot.
You got it.
All right.
And
And so
I'm gonna grab the handle, and I'm gonna turn back to the captain and say, "And don't worry, I'm Mule's good luck charm." and then I'm gonna go.
If we make it past this, it certainly will be. This is
I'm your good luck charm. Sweats profusely.
So, with some elapsed time, the crew has been pulled. The crew have been pulled back largely to interior sections, with with only the essential crew being, bare minimum of essential crew being placed at certain key power junctions in engineering and the bridge. All of you now have environmental suits. Those of you that are outside those segments, and Aegis is going to take its begin its run towards the singularity. So, Xantar, go ahead and Xantar, fly the ship. God,
How did I get here?
We need a surgeon's steady hand.
You really don't want Xantar at the helm.
yeah, bad
but you have steady hand.
bad time for the tea to kick in.
Yeah.
That's weird enough that Santa is flying the ship, but why is he naked?
I just got out the shower.
It's the hilarious Star Trek Online glitch where your ground player token has replaced your ship.
Yeah.
All right, so Remora, give me a control plus con roll.
Remember, you can spend momentum because we got a shit ton of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend momentum to gain an extra die if that's cool with everybody.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
just Craig coming up like Clippy, just like, remember, you can spend momentum.
Yep.
Let's save my determination to reroll.
Is it bad that I kind of wanted to roll for Xantar?
Yep,
Yeah,
I'm
by the
so
way,
glad
what's
I did
why
that.
that?
I'd like to reroll
God.
with determination.
What? Please tell me what value you are selecting.
Survival above all else.
Yeah. That's with no successes and a critical fail. Yeah. All right, and correct me if I'm wrong. We are taking the Class 2 flares as the first hazard here, correct?
yes, still at first.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So you begin your pass towards Scylla, on the Scylla end of the course. Go ahead and re-roll, Remora.
Oh, thank God.
Much better.
That
Oh,
is
thank God.
4 successes. The ship may roll.
I'm rolling.
Yep.
Oh, well done, ship.
Nice.
Yes.
That is
Successes.
that is 6 successes. I am going to ask, because I think that you could probably start with thrusters here, but I think impulse is going to be called for from here on out to get you through at speed. But you have officially used, let's see, that will officially take up the first 2 intervals of time. Remora, please set your work to, I believe that would be, okay, that's 2 plus your con discipline, so that would be 6. Roll 6
where is the work?
challenges.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the challenge dice. Roll that again, please.
It broke.
That's better.
Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points of work, resisted by 1. That is going to mean that you have a so you do get your first breakthrough on this.
Yay.
That puts 6. That puts 5 points because resistance is still 1. So that should be just checking it against my rules here. All right.
So what's the difficulty of that roll was what again?
The difficulty on that roll was 3 initially.
Okay, so we spent 1 momentum, get 1 back, so we've got 2 floating momentum.
Correct.
Let's use that to increase our intervals. Interval distance to 10 rather than 8. So we get extra turn.
Okay, yeah,
I do
basically,
believe.
I'll let you buy back and buy back the interval of time, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So not too bad so far. So got 5 work done and a breakthrough. Don't know what breakthrough does, but it sounds good.
Yep, the breakthrough will make will reduce the difficulty on this next task here.
Oh, good. Okay,
yeah.
all right.
So Aegis begins its race into the gauntlet, firing up its thrusters and zooming forward, airing towards the Messine star. Plasma dances before your eyes on the view screen, Remora, such that you have to alternate between seeing to it that polarization is properly adjusted on the screen. You are much more focusing on the console, as you have to navigate more by control than by eyesight. That's generally always true here, but it's even more so now. As you pass, though, you are going to deal with some of the flares lancing out. So that is at a Class 2 level. Well, this sheet, it may or may not be working. Let's take a look at that. Is anything on the... Oh, wait. I was clicking the wrong one anyway. Sorry, guys. Trying to just figure out... Alright, I see why that is. It was trying to do a whisper roll to me. I'd done some tests earlier. So let's make this a proper roll that everybody can see here. That doesn't seem like it should be. It seems like there should be slightly more to it based on scale.
Yeah, I don't. I didn't.
No, we'll
think
accept it. We'll accept that.
The ones-
Oh,
Yeah.
I see
Yeah.
why it is. It was doing it based on energy there. So let's all right. There.
Ooh,
That's
okay. All right.
that's not quite there either. That's too much. That's too much damage.
The sun is firing torpedoes at us.
Wait, that's no sun?
Nova eruption. Torpedo incoming.
There we go. I had clicked the wrong one anyway. So there's
Okay.
the.
All right. That's fine. There we are. We're fine now.
All right. So with no effects, that will not drain the shield or the polarization of the hull. That will. Let's see. The pass through that will still light up the hull in a dull blue as it disperses the ambient radiation and energy from the plasma. Aegis continues barreling through, approaching its first marker. Speed is beginning to pick up as as the two stellar bodies exerting their gravity are pulling you forward, and the Aegis's thrusters are rapidly being outstripped by the thrust that they can supply. At this point, Remora, punching through this is going to take impulse power. So, we'll ask you for another roll here. This will be control plus con, with the assist from the ship once again.
Con.
The question I have for you would be, will you be sticking to the stellar flares or the singularity? Would you switch to that, Hazard?
Scylla or Charybdis?
What?
Scylla or Charybdis?
I think we stay with the solar flare since it didn't do anything this time round. So we'll give it another shot at us.
You got it. Switching to impulse.
Okay.
Going forward.
This will be a difficulty 2 task.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, you want to spend momentum here?
Absolutely.
Right, and Pete, when you roll for the ship, I will ask you to also reduce the ship's power by 1 point.
Okay.
Might need an engineering roll. Good, well done.
All right, that is 3 successes with 2 from the ship.
Oh, ship!
Aegis!
You're doing well.
Doing great.
Number 2. We
So
like this.
that's us back to full and with 2 floating.
Yep. So,
Yep.
go
Same.
ahead and do some additional work there, Remora.
6 challenge dice. Still.
Yes.
Oh God! Reroll those.
Yeah.
Or with one of the floating, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That should have been 4. Let me roll. Do you want me to roll that again?
Set it to 4. Yeah, give it another roll.
There we
Oh,
go.
yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
With the other floating, how much work do we get done if we were to spend that on extra work? Is that a thing?
That
Yeah, we
would
can add.
be
We can
1-to-1.
increase. Yeah, it's 1-to-1, similar to momentum.
Okay, because that way, if we get that, it means we'd have 6 work done with the resistance, reducing it to 5, which means we get another breakthrough.
Yeah, so let's do that. Let's spend the momentum. 1 momentum, floating momentum 2, increase the work, additional work by 1. Yeah.
All right. So that adds the... Yes, that will... With that, it adds another point of... So adding that extra point of work, I believe, should put you up to another 5 on the track. Giving you a total of 10 now.
Okay, cool.
So that is also enough for 1 additional breakthrough. Very quickly, just moving.
How's the ship looking?
The ship is feeling all manner of rattles. The deck plates are starting to shake much more as the impulse engines kick on, and you are feeling the strain of the
Heat.
relative gravity. Heat is also picking up as the view screen is practically... it's starting to get some static, actually. The visual sensors that work with it are having difficulty processing everything from the ship's... from the interference around the ship. You're definitely glad, Captain, that the crew you have are on... are in EV suits, too, because there are some readings that you are privy to that would suggest that that is beginning to climb as you near this. Not even the ship's hull tolerances, or the hull plating is not doing anything.
Are we if we weren't in EV suits, we'd be losing months, right? As it were, from a lifespan.
The
Or is it
rads
years
would
now?
the rads would probably be starting to shave some months. So yeah. With the persistent shaking of the vessel, Aegis is taking more and more of the edges of the plasma flares, approaching some of the major streams going from the star to the singularity. Yet again, it passes through another major flare, but the deflector is just able to screen out most of the major damage, only keeping the ship relatively aglow.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Crichton, through his suit comms, says, reports from damage control teams suggest increasing temperature and radiation levels. Inner decks remain unaffected.
Have all crew maintain their stations. The moment she just pauses, she just shakes her head. Just have them maintain their stations. I need more power into the impulse.
says, we are getting through.
I don't like the fact that your threat just disappeared. Hold on a minute.
You very much should not. Melnyuk is looking through the consoles as best she can, with the view of the faceplate obstructing it. We are closing the range here. If we can sustain impulse thrust, Captain, then we should be able to maintain the keyhole trajectory. The subspace corridor entrance looming in the top. It seems within reach, that narrow pass, and it is that point that there is a sudden terrible rattle from the ship, and a more abrupt shake occurs, as if the feeling of a strike, of something impacting the hull, or something shuddering deep within the vessel. Lights begin to flicker.
Anything on damage report?
Yeah, but the captain looks over. Damage report, Shira. What the hell was that?
Oh wait, I have okay, Shira. Yeah, we'll say you're on bridge monitoring damage control. You look and you see that there are warnings in the star drive section as the starboard warp EPS feeds on the starboard warp nacelle indicate signs of being compromised, and there are plasma leakages in some of the outer decks. An emergency cutoff has basically occurred in the to the starboard warp nacelle. This is going to impose the scene trait of basically an EPS relay blowout that will inhibit your main power by half. It is also going to add complication to any engine-related tasks until the... it's going to inhibit an increased complication range of 3 on any engine-related tasks until the ship is... until it is properly repaired.
The starboard warp nacelle has just ruptured an EPS conduit, preventing plasma into space.
Got it. I can see that too from down here. GM in the Great Barrier, can I attempt to do any routing of electroplasma power systems? I've been doing a lot of that. This place is like a Christmas tree.
That is part of the problem, Romanov. As near as you can tell, what's going on here is that the because of the complex routing, and particularly the damage done by the Kzinti's ionic weaponry, it created the conditions to overload a crucial segment of the EPS grid. This feeds directly into the
We shouldn't be charging through a
itself.
sun with this configuration, more or less.
Yeah. It was a bound to happen sort of affair. It just struck at the worst possible moment.
No rolls I can make to assist.
You would
Romanov,
have to,
well,
somebody
actually,
has to go down and effect repairs, basically.
Remember,
But that is super contaminated right now. She'll just say, Romanov, what happens if we remove the safety? We still run the starboard engine?
What happens if we remove the safety?
If you try to re-engage that without making the repair, like you're already running at an increased complication range, that might stack a little bit more. I'm going to say that's going to either stack a point on difficulty or a point on the complication.
Oh, thank you.
I'll just, it's too dangerous, ma'am. It will make everything more difficult.
What if we buy an advantage? Maybe this is similar. Maybe Remora's experienced something similar. It went back on pirate ships where it also lost in a cell, and perhaps he knows how to better
Well,
handle ships with that
I
characteristic.
I was going to say is the captain, who has a lot of background due to time shenanigans, probably has had similar situations before or crises, and thus can probably manage it at least even for a little while. Can I try to decrease the complication range a little bit with a certain reroute that I know?
Well,
Or trick I know temporarily.
as far as the engines go, I think that I'm sticking by on the threat spend. That this is like
Okay.
and this is something Romanov knows is integral to the power grid, or like it's at a very direct point, so it's not something that can be bypassed. It feeds
Mitigated.
right into
Yeah,
the
it can't be mitigated. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And that was just clarification. That was a threat spend, right?
Correct.
Yes.
I've
Okay.
bought a negative scene trait, which down in engineering, Romanov, I can move things around. Well, we'll just set the stage here. You have a relatively small team here. Mostly your top engineers, characters that have supported you for a while. Hint, hint. You also have Racco there as well, who has continued to volunteer to keep the ship that is keeping them alive together.
Yeah.
Racco is just as a matter, I'll give it to you free. He's like, wait a minute, I've seen things like this. Hey, Remora, you remember that one time that we were dodging those Enolian cruisers and we had to make a bit of a close pass by that red dwarf?
Yeah, I do.
Well, I'd rather have you down here to fix this, but I'm gonna have to do with one of these knuckleheads.
Oh god, I'm gonna get in so much trouble.
So Racco in EV suit secured and grabbing some damage control gear, looks to the engineers there. Hey, which one of you wants to help me get us out of this mess?
We can take care of that, sir.
Yeah. Leighton also joins in.
I feel like this is well, 3 probably better than what we can do if you can spare it. Ms. Romanov.
Yeah, do I think I can get over there with my physical limitations? I'll assist.
Like, you try to make a play for it, but the crutch is actually, it is out of reach, and you realize that as much as the ship is bucking now, you are going to have some problems doing that.
Also, my
Can
gravity.
I find... There's an engineering seat that Tucker would work at. I would be there and strapped in.
Yeah. Basically, you can restart the flow once they've made repairs.
I'll just tell them I'll restart the flow from here, and I'll adjust the screen so that I can do that. I'm prepared.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the captain's like reroute for the moment. Reroute all power to port engine. Port nacelle.
I'll do it.
Yep. So that will help you here deal with things. We'll say as a minor action, Racco, Bernhard, and Leighton all move to change position, being tossed to and fro through the ship as lights flicker and the bits of bulkheads and deck plating rattles. You find your way into a compartment further towards the starboard end of the ship that seems to have been the location of the blowout. The door initially does not respond, but with a quick access to the manual release, you pump it open and find just an almost completely incinerated segment of the interior. This was probably a closet storage space of some sort with some maintenance access, anything that wasn't like solid metal along the deck plates has been charred by superheated plasma. Thankfully, no one was in here. There's just carbon scoring everywhere. Fire suppression did trigger at a certain point shortly after the cutoff, so it was basically a flash burn sort of situation, but everything is in bad shape. The ceiling where the EPS conduit is has a pretty considerable gaping hole from where it blew out. I'll ask for somebody to give me an insight and engineering task. Leighton
I'll do
or
that.
Bernhard can do this, and I think I don't think you guys have been. Neither of you have been
Leighton has not
activated.
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, you guys
Right.
are both going to get activations for this. You're putting in for your pay this one.
Woohoo!
Yay.
Racco will assist.
Alright.
Brian, you're strictly speaking not in this scene, so that'll be...
It's just
okay.
supporting characters, my friend.
Yeah.
Sorry. Emergency repairs. I have a focus on that.
That would apply. Same with
Yep.
EPS.
And get a threat.
Yeah.
GM, as they get bold engineering. All right. Any complication range?
No complication range here.
All right. Peter, if you can assist me.
Absolutely.
Insight and engineering.
Yep. Any focus for you, Bernhard?
I have Starship Power Systems.
That works.
Yes.
Holy shit!
Jeez.
Gosh, you're doing
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So,
Considering
That
I had
is-
to use Bernard's worst one.
that is a total of 5...
You rolled your work. All right.
Alright, yeah, that is 5 successes on the board there. Yeah, between the two of you, this is pretty obvious work. I am going to call that a difficulty 2 since I didn't specifically mention, just to help
No
you
worries.
figure it out.
Yeah. So three extra successes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Racco says, this... he'll tap a suit comm. Hey, Remora, you remember when we went through that red dwarf and I told you the one thing I really wish wouldn't happen, but, and thankfully didn't happen?
I don't remember exactly what it was, but I knew that it was bad.
It happened. Says Leighton. He doesn't know what it means, but he's pretty sure he knows what it means.
We might be able to get this welded back into place. I think I know the repair, usual deck repair sort of thing. It's a joint polymer and welding sort of thing. Displays it, kind of comes out as a gaseous sort of... Alright, I can do this one of 2 ways for you. And the second I'd rather not think of. First would be quick. We can get this welded. That's another extended task here. That's more like a difficulty 3, work track of 8 sort of thing. Probably not much resistance. We could blow a crap ton of momentum on that and get it done. If we're really pressed, I do have... I might have a way to get it repaired and all in one go.
Well, what sort of role are we talking about here?
We're doing control engineering if we make this its own work track affair. But daring if we go the other way.
Well, my control is much better than my daring. It is my best.
Alright. We can start with that. So let's see. Racco is going to produce from the kit. He's going to find the sufficient grade of patches in order to get in order to stand up to the tolerance of the plasma system here. and he's going to extend himself here. All right. I've got it locked in, he says, pressing as hard as he can to get it against the conduit.
Alright, hold steady.
Leighton will assist.
Yep. Leighton, you have to set up a box because this is slightly higher than what you would usually work through.
Yeah.
All right. I will ask for a control plus engineering roll. Difficulty. I think I said, what, difficulty 2, or did I mention?
Yeah, 2. I think 2 before.
All right.
Complication range?
I am setting it to. I'm increasing it to 2.
Yep. I'm going to spend a momentum to buy a die.
Did we have floating momentum after that last? Oh, holy shit!
Yeah.
Okay, we got floating momentum now. I think. That's...
Yeah. So let's see. That'll. I think with what you have, that should give you. That should give you. Oh. That's 3 points floating there. I'd say that you guys probably had. Let me just look back. So that was 5 successes on the earlier roll. Honestly, I think that'd give you another 6 floating right now. So that's.
Oi. So we're back. So we're back at 6 momentum, and we've got Jesus. Okay. Right.
Let's see. Bernhard, you were taking lead. Give me 2 plus your engineering disciplines worth of challenge dice rolled.
Certainly.
Re-roll those 2 with one of the momentum.
Alright, that'll do.
5. We could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How much resistance was there?
There's no resistance on this task.
Okay.
And how much? Sorry, what was the
The work track totals at 8.
We got 5, so we could spend another 3 of the floating momentum to max out the work track.
Yeah, let's do
I
that.
think that'll be good, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 2
Like, this
floating.
welding is probably like the smoothest weld ever seen.
Yep. Bernhard, you, between you and, between you and Leighton, you manage to get this together as quickly as possible. Racco supporting things. The weld is, the weld enters into place, and the, as you go, running quick scans, you think that it is in a decent enough condition to support the EPS flow. With a thumbs up through the suit, Racco will move down and just see if the deck plate is holding sufficiently without his support, which it does. So the conduit seems back together for the moment.
Right, that looks good.
Yeah.
Let's get this stuff flowing through.
There's one issue I could think of with all this. That this conduit here, this polymer mix we used for the weld, it's a good patch, but it might have problems.
Let's just hope not anytime soon.
I agree. We'll have
Yeah.
to deal with that at another time when we're still alive, hopefully.
You guys mind if I keep an eye on this? I might be able to do some emergency work if it really comes to it.
No, that's alright.
I'm sensing it's time for another piloting roll.
Yep.
Indeed. And you have, with that last task, it did take another increment of time, so you have 2 increments left.
Okay.
Or rather, you have 4 increments of time remaining. Basically, enough time for 2 tasks.
Okay. Cool. And we got 8 on the work track.
Yep.
left to do.
No doubt.
Okay, we could potentially nail it this turn if we were to splash momentum at it. Okay.
Yep. So, with that, the let's see, the scene is back on the bridge. I think that we are through with, well, the floating momentum having been applied earlier to what you were doing. It is back to another roll with what you have banked, which should be at a full 6. The nacelles kick back online, Remora, and you see you have full power once again.
That's what I'm talking about, Rocco.
Alright. Okay. Well, get yourself an extra dice and go rolling.
Get 2 extra dice. Oh, well, never mind.
That is 1 success.
And we had a breakthrough last time, so it's only...
It should only be a difficulty of 1. No, I should ask, are you still dealing with the flares now? Or did you elect to go for the singularity?
Let's keep the flares.
Yeah.
Alright. So, you begin
So
to...
we get through that, just...
Yep. Start racing forward. The Aegis firing up its impulse engines, dropping a point of power. The flares spike and further further surge as now the radiation is seriously rising, with an effect that is going to be that does mean a point of the hull plating is drained, reflecting the decrease in power there.
Hull plating down by 16%.
Okay. And Remora, go ahead and roll me work there, please.
That's 6. That's a breakthrough. We could potentially nail it by just throwing momentum at it now.
So re-roll the 2.
We could just... I mean, if you... yeah, I suppose so, yeah.
Might need momentum down on the line.
So we...
Just seeing how the radiation's going down there.
Okay, that's 8. That's 8, 7... So let's throw 1 more momentum to get 1 more on the work track. I think that would get us to 9 in total with a resistance of 1, so 8 work, right?
Nice.
If I'm doing my maths correctly.
That sounds about right.
So that should be, yes. Hopefully that's enough on the work track.
Also, ow, that freaking radiation. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yep, not fun.
Yep.
But hopefully we've cleared the extended task.
Alright. So with those expenditures, I would say that your math does check out. So
If it didn't, then we'd spend more momentum until it did.
Yep. So, before the Aegis, through the static of the flares, the subspace corridor grows ever larger. Remora, you have your course set for it, and you press up the throttle. The impulse engines running at maximum efficiency, power getting the spike. Around the ship, reports are coming in of the increases in radiation and heat temperature. Engine room managing things as best as possible. One of the comm lines that Creighton has open on there would be the coming down from a small compartment near the starboard nacelle. Things are picking up a little bit. It's getting mighty hot in here too. I need to stabilize this weld here. Hey, Remora.
Yeah.
You're gonna get out of this one, right? The portal grows even larger on the screen.
As the ship strains, I imagine.
Yeah.
I haven't killed you yet.
Hey. I don't think you ever could have killed me. Not in a straight up fight. And certainly not by your decisions. I don't go anywhere I don't want to be. I pick where I go, and I'm decisive about it. So do you.
Thank God you picked through that portal.
I'm glad you did too, and I hope that you keep finding that. Decisive decisions are good. I happen to know at least one person, one quite lovely individual that I think might have some decisions of her own to make sooner rather than later. I'm a good judge of character, and I pick up some things, so I'll... Oh, she might be on the bridge.
Nothing. He
Ah,
just
yeah.
said nothing. Nothing.
God damn it! If he lives, it's just here. It's just God damn it! If he lives with this, I will kill him.
Wherever you go next, good luck. Comm line cuts out. The ship rattles violently as the portal looms. It's taken up almost the entire view screen as you approach the corridor. Red lines start showing up on the damage control consoles as radiation...
Dump everything you have into the engines.
Got it.
And with that last push, with the hold of the throttle, and with the entire ship shaking around you, like sparks blowing out of different consoles, the Aegis passes into the gateway. And for a moment, the sensors on the visual sensors just completely null out. It takes a moment for them to reset before, after a few moments in subspace, you emerge to a blank set of stars. Or a more standard star field.
Mjolnir, radiation levels.
Radiation levels reading at about 48 rads and dropping. We're going to be in the suits for a little bit, and decon protocols will have to get to work, but it should be survivable. Inner decks are still within tolerances.
Our sensor's still alive.
What was the last
Still
one?
working? Sensor's still working.
Yes.
We're still have eyes and ears.
Getting a position report now. Oh, shit. Captain, we've traveled 50 light years. Further out the rim than we've ever been, than anyone we know has ever been.
Goodbye, Kzinti net.
Yeah, damage control reports coming in now, sir. Damage control team stabilizing EPS grid. Sir, we've had another emergency cutoff on the starboard nacelle.
She nods. Get the doctor and the emergency work teams there on the double. Mjolnir, I need those coordinates. Where are we?
I'll find them now, sir. Alright, and going through, camera panning throughout the ship, any immediate looks or asks that you guys would want right at the time?
Leighton is definitely going back over towards the one little closet that what's name is there?
Bernard will join him.
This time the door is much more difficult to pry open, as the manual release is like resealing the door was a little more complicated, so reopening it becomes it's still not a great affair.
We broke the door once. Now we have to re-break the door. Yeah.
Yep. With a bit of time and with a bit of effort, you pry through. You're able to pry through and see that the area is about as intact as you had previously left it, though difficult to ignore. Now set against a wall is signs of an EV suit that have been very badly burned, and it's difficult to make out, but there is a metallic item in one arm that's at least where the arm should be, but is looking a bit more. It is out of shape, I should say, in a sense, or it's a bit distorted, as there are signs of pretty considerable scoring across the whole suit.
Leighton does loosely check to see if there's really anything left of him.
The suit does read as compromised, and there might, to the extent that anything, or like he was living for a time afterwards, this probably it didn't last too long at the very least. Shock probably set in.
Right. Leighton just suddenly looks over towards Peter's side character. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry.
Bernard.
Bernard. Yeah. Kind of giving the expression of, should we tell them or should we just let the doctor come down here?
I think I got it. Hang on. Bernard to the doctor.
Xantar here. I'm afraid we got a casualty down in engineering. I see. I'll send someone down to recover the body. Very good, Doctor. And, I'm afraid it's Remora's friend. I see. I shall inform him. Thank you, Bernard.
And Bernard looks at Leighton. Just,
you know, out of all the ways to go, I think that's the way I want to go. It may not have been his original ship, but he did care for it greatly.
There are a million words that Leighton could speak, but instead he gives a stoicism and he looks back over the corpse. Gives a slow nod.
Even his usual is too much.
Yeah, it's He ponders whether to, like, do the human thing and try to fold the arms, but it really doesn't very much matter at that point. So he's just gives it a slow nod again, and then my dog is really enjoying a bone upstairs. He will just get to work on the starboard nacelle.
Scarcely time
Bernard will join in.
Yeah. Well, we're going to cut ahead a little bit, and I will the idea, I think, would be the ship is going to be stuck at its current position before going to warp again for at least a few days.
I imagine it's pretty
But the-
battered. Like as much we took those hits, I imagine it's not exactly its best place.
Yeah.
Can everything stop blowing holes in our ship?
Yeah. Time. So time will be taken. First and foremost, to decontaminate the ship as best as possible from the radiation issues and allow the crew to spread out to be able to do more damage control work, just to go back to something more or less normal. Time will also be taken to figure out exactly what had gone wrong, which in the particular case of the power grid, the report that Romanov will be able to detail later explains how the combination of EPS bypasses and residual effects from Kzinti weaponry on the power grid had left certain EPS relays a little more vulnerable. With actual time to conduct proper repairs as opposed to the mad dash which you had to make, this issue can be corrected. However, it will still be several days before Aegis is ready to go back to warp. During that time, you can at least take consolation in knowing that nobody will chase you, or nobody shows up during the elapsed time. Not within the 3 days, and I can tell you that they won't show up in the next several that it takes for you to restore power and the engine capacity. Furthermore, it is recommended that you stick to a cruising speed of maybe warp 3.2 or 3.1 for the time being. So
Still ain't bad. Cruising speed at 3.1 and 3.2, it ain't bad. Yeah. I'll take it.
It's not, that's not bad.
Yeah, the Daedalus class is still a very rugged ship, thankfully. But yes, with that, steadily life gets closer to something a little more normal. But for others, it is irrevocably changed. So I will say, if you guys would like, there's at least we could do a couple of scenes here. We're running up to what would be we're running up to the clock, but I think that we could still get in, say something with I guess Remora. If there's anything you want to do afterwards, there's an opportunity for that. Shira and Romanov could also have a scene if you would like, since we postponed that earlier.
And it was Remora's friend that was lost,
Yes.
correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. If you like, we could have something with some of the officers down in the mess hall, and if Remora would be partial to having. It depends. I guess, Cheesy, let me ask first. With everything that's gone on, do you think that he would try to mark some festivity in his honor, or like a gathering, a drink with the officers, or would he grieve on his own, perhaps with Kesh? How would you like to play that sort of thing? Cheesy? You might be muted.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, he would be with Cash.
Okay, so we'll move things into the. Let's go with the. Let's see. I'll put us in the officers' mess for now. Say that most people are still. We'll say that this is back at a point of normal operations, so people are able to come back in here. As you step into the mess, there will actually be other crew about now, and Suliban civilians as well, coming to enjoy a meal. It's in many ways a more bustling scene than this room has ever been, Remora, though at a far corner, eating alone, sits Kesh at his usual spot.
Does he look sad? And does it look like he knows?
I think that Kesh has definitely been made aware of that situation. That there's definitely a kind of down look, a little more hunched.
He's gonna walk up slowly and just pull him up from his chair and give him a huge hug. That's all he can do.
He just quietly says, "They should have made that offer a while ago. Should have been more helpful to start." I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
He's fixing an engine in a way better place.
Kesh will return your embrace, Remora, and give you that extra squeeze. The two of you, the three of you, had worked together for some time, and though you are part of a new, larger crew, Remora, there is most definitely that kinship of good friends deep in battle together that have survived the odds many a time. Racco, he took the odds as with daring and aplomb, but it rarely worked out. It more often worked out, but like he would have said, sometimes the game goes out eventually. I see. Romanov is also in the sick bay now. Not sick bay, the officers' mess.
Yeah, she shows up for this.
Yeah, I should say there wasn't a proper celebration of sorts. This was just Remora and Kesh grieving along.
Well, if I knew about it, I would have gone. If you don't want me there, I'll delete the token. If you don't think I would have known about it.
I think that, this might have been a personal thing, but I will say for your part, Romanov, between the work as difficult as everything has been, you have at least enjoyed you've seen what everyone is given for this. What the past between Scylla and Charybdis gave you. And that's not just another day for your crew to survive, not just another day for your immediate friends to survive, but for people that you barely knew, Suliban refugees, to have made it through a day and to see a chance at freedom. I'm actually going to go so far as to say that you are sitting with a new family, and let's, for the sake of japes, a very bedraggled Marcus Horn, who is in the process of being in the process of being explained how the Suliban have a very similar tradition to the godparent, and how they would be very happy to honor him for his role in the new child's birth.
You really should be honored. It is a great privilege.
Bless you. Bless you, great one.
It's wondering silently if he's still too concussed to really process.
Well, yep. What has your day been? It's all kind of a blur, as if it was out of focus.
I was just acting purely on muscle memory. So I'm just happy we got through all of this. Yeah.
And
Kind of looks around like everyone is
Don't worry,
mostly down.
The smell of the membrane will wash off eventually.
Well, it's hopefully.
Eventually.
How long do you think?
He just hands him gives him a spray with the hand sanitizer.
Fernier running by, just say, Not soon enough, if you ask me. No offense, ma'am, and congratulations. As he leaves the bay. Yeah. But yeah, with all of with the there's been a mix of sadness and bright spots, silver linings that you could find, and it's you're doing the best you can with the moment. But, let's see. Yeah, with the off-duty time and finishing up your meal and maybe like not at this point having a little more difficulty with the smell yourself, Romanov, you decide maybe it's better to depart the quarters, or rather depart the mess hall.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I will extend the offer if you guys would like. We could do the one last scene, or we could save it for next adventure if you'd like.
Yeah, what do you guys feel like, Craig and Brian?
Well, I got the impression Zach didn't want me in this scene, that I was leaving.
No. The Romanov Shira scene where Shira's gonna
Oh,
explanation. Now that stress is over and we got 3 days.
Or that
I don't
could
know.
wait till next. Or that could
Yeah,
wait till
I
next.
think I'd like to wait till next time for that one.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, I think it's more fitting to finish on the
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
As Remora and Kesh take their moment, I'd say that Aleska, it is refreshing to see that even from the oddest stretches of life that camaraderie can be built up, and you see further it's gone to a good cause. Racco's loss, meanwhile, his last words might have a bit more resonance with other members of the crew, but that is an affair that we will leave until next time. So, for those of you joining us in the archive here, I sincerely hope you enjoyed today's Star Trek adventure as we finished up our penultimate episode. When we come back, which we will be coming, if you're following with us live, we will be coming back on the 7th of December, 2024. We will begin the Season 2 finale. So, this is...
Yay.
Dun dun dun.
This is where we will leave you off. I hope that you have a good rest of your day.